Anything forced is not beautiful. In my experience, men who respond to good fortune with modesty and kindness are harder to find than those who face adversity with courage. For in the very nature of things, success tends to create pride and blindness in the hearts of men, while suffering teaches them to be patient and strong. No human being will ever know the truth, for even if they happened to say it by chance, they would not know they had done so. Moderation in all things healthful, total abstinence from all things harmful. To quote a dictum of Simon, what a horse does under compulsion he does blindly, and his performance is no more beautiful than would be that of a ballet dancer taught by whip and goad. People often say what is right and do what is wrong, but nobody can be in the wrong if he is doing what is right. Self-confidence should always ride side by side with a strong sense of humility. A man may hate cruelty and lies, but if he's never given an opportunity to show what he's made of, no one will remember him when he dies. Most people, when they are set upon looking into other people's affairs, never turn to examine themselves. If you consider what are called the virtues in mankind, you will find their growth is assisted by education and cultivation. Brevity is the soul of command. Leaders must always set the highest standard. In a summer campaign, leaders must always endure their share of the sun and the heat and, in winter, the cold and the frost. In all labors, leaders must prove tireless if they want to enjoy the trust of their followers. Remember the lessons of history. Remember how often whole peoples have allowed themselves to be persuaded to go to war by wise men, and then been utterly destroyed by the very enemy they agreed to attack. Remember how many statesmen have helped raise new leadership to power, and then been overthrown by their own protégés. Remember how often leaders have chosen to treat their friends like slaves, and then perished in the revolutions caused by their idiotic methods. How many powerful men have craved to dominate the world, and by overreaching have lost everything they once possessed. There is a deep, and usually frustrated, desire in the heart of everyone to act with benevolence rather than selfishness, and one fine instance of generosity can inspire dozens more. What am I lying here for? We are lying here as though we had a chance of enjoying a quiet time. Am I waiting until I become a little older? I made my people understand the crucial difference between modesty and self-control. The modest person, I told them, will do nothing blameworthy in the light of day, but a true paragon of self-control, which we all should strive to be, avoids unworthy actions even in the deepest secrecy of his private life. Battles are decided more by the morale of the troops than by their bodily strength. Misleaders are slow to work hard but quick to act on greed. They convince their men that dishonest behavior leads to great wealth. For as they who use no bodily exercises are awkward and unwieldy in the actions of the body, So they who exercise not their minds are incapable of the noble actions of the mind, and have not courage enough to undertake anything worthy of praise, nor command enough over themselves to abstain from things that are forbid. Truly, men often fail to understand their own weaknesses, I said neutrally, and their lack of self-knowledge can bring terrible disasters down on their own heads. The man who doesn't know his own ability is ignorant of himself. Men, the enemy troops you can see are all that stands between us and the place we have for so long been determined to reach. We must find a way to eat them alive. Most of us are always trying to increase our wealth, but you and your officers seem far more concerned with perfecting your souls. He had put on the best-looking uniform that he could, thinking that victory deserved the best-looking armor. In the face of danger, be eager, not intimidated. When a horse wants to display himself, he lifts his neck up high and flexes his poll haughtily, and picks his legs up freely, and keeps his tail up. He who marries a beautiful woman in hopes of being happy with her knows not, but that even she herself may be the cause of all his uneasinesses. Men unite against none so readily as against those whom they see attempting to rule over them. For in the very nature of things, success tends to create pride and blindness in the hearts of men, while suffering teaches them to be patient and strong. There was something in me that would not rest until I fulfilled a grand destiny. Thus I created an empire in my thoughts long before I began to win an empire in reality. When, early on, you can expect no one to believe in your destiny as much as yourself. I deeply believe that leaders, whatever their profession, are wrong to allow distinctions of rank to flourish within their organizations. Living together on equal terms helps people develop deeper bonds and creates a common conscience. Success always calls for greater generosity, though most people, lost in the darkness of their own egos, treat it as an occasion for greater greed. Success should never breed complacency. What angers me are all those kings who are fabled for the heaps of gold in their coffers, and their freedom from trouble and pain. I have a different vision. I say that the true leader shuns luxury and ease. Once in power, he should want to work harder than ever. And even as you're working to ensure the health of your army, you must remember to take care of your own. If you wish to be thought a good estate manager, or a good horseman, or a good physician, or a good flute player without really being one, just imagine all the tricks you have to invent just to keep up appearances. You might succeed at first, but in the end you're going to be exposed as an imposter. Just as the various traits are most highly developed in large cities, in the same way food at the palace is prepared in a far superior manner. In small towns the same man makes couches, doors, plows and tables, and often he even builds houses, and still he is thankful if only he can find enough work to support himself. And it is impossible for a man of many trades to do all of them well. In large cities, however, because many make demands on each trade, one alone is enough to support a man, and often less than one. For instance, one man makes shoes for men, another for women. There are places even where one man earns a living just by mending shoes, another by cutting them out, another just by sewing the uppers together, while there is another who performs none of these operations but assembles the parts. Of necessity, he who pursues a very specialized task will do it best. The suffering of the leader is always lightened by his glory. As much as possible, you must let others share in your glory, so that they never lose heart. Your leader is only one man, I heard my voice say. His strength is no more supernatural than your own, nor is his virtue, and by himself he could never preserve the good things that belong by right to everyone. To govern well, he must have your help, the help of his true, trustworthy friends. You must forever be worthy of his trust, and you must raise up true friends of your own, to help you carry your own burdens. And it is love that must bind all of us together. To recognize this situation is not to call for a less calculated kind of leadership. It is always the cunning, not the naive, who rise to power, and leaders must use artfulness to make any organization whatsoever work well. Yet they must never be guided by cynical and self-serving counsels. If they don't call upon their higher selves, they will descend further into petty egotism and tyrannical behavior.